Good morning. Good morning, colleagues. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Happy Admin Professionals Day, and it must be a happy time. I hope it's a happy time for all of you. On behalf of the administrative officers of the various faculties across the Mona campus and the Western Jamaica campus, please receive best wishes for Happy Administrative Professionals Day from all of us. This is a day that last Wednesday in April that is celebrated annually and celebrated internationally as Admin Professionals Day. This is our day, ladies and gentlemen, to relax and be treated, feel appreciated for your hard work and efforts. The university and your respective faculty management really want to pause at this time just to say thank you. And we thank you also for joining us. And we invite you, we have a full program. We will be sure not to take up too much of your time today. We have a full program for your benefit. We invite you to stay tuned and enjoy the morning's proceedings. At this time, we'll have a short musical interlude, and please relax and enjoy the presentation.
Greetings, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here with you, just to worship the Lord with you. And I hope that you're ready to bless the Lord with me. Are you ready to worship the Lord with me? Come on, wherever you are right now, just begin to honor the name of the Lord. He is an awesome God, and there is none like him. You can search the world all over, throughout, and you'll find that there is none that can compare to our God. Let's go. Everybody knows my name. Do they really know? Do they know me? And everybody thinks they're sure what's truly best for me. Well, I've come to say that I've fallen short of grace, but I'm powered by God's true love for me, and I will find no one that loves me like you. From that deep place in my heart, I'll worship, 'cause everything I am is for you. We're gonna give it all to him today. More for show, it's not for fame, but it's just for that audience of one.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a very scintillating performance. And I hope something that has woken you up and whetted your appetite for what is to come. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Thank you so much for your contributions to the UWI. Thank you so much for your hard work and efforts. We are very grateful, and we want you to know that this morning. And so, because of the value of your work and your contributions, we will have addressing us this morning our campus registrar, none other than Dr. Donovan Stanbury, just to express his gratitude to this group in particular, and all who are joining us, who are administrative professionals in your own right. Please receive our registrar at this time.
Thank you very much. And let me extend greetings to this wonderful group and for taking the initiative to form this body in the university. I just want to congratulate you on this professional secretaries and administrative assistant day. I'm very happy that joining us, I can see in the chat, are at least 2 deans. And I think that that should show that you are very much appreciated. I was just thinking what I would say to you last night. And I remember in my former life in the government, secretaries and professional administrators day was a big thing, and we had to, buy tokens for secretaries and put on a dinner and that kind of thing. Of course, we were never financially challenged as we are at the university here, but I'll certainly engage the principal and the executive management of the campus to ensure that this day henceforth will not pass in such a low-key way. And at least we can do something. Not everything costs money, but we can do more, I think, to show appreciation for this group of admin assistants. Not many people will say it, but I don't have a problem saying it because I guess my newness to the university gives me some leave and to say certain things. But coming here, I'm really struck at the level at which, the extent to which the whole staff complement is stratified and clear lines of demarcation between those who are service staff, those who are administrative and technical, and those in the so-called WIGOT group. Very rigid stratification, and it seems sometimes that there's no point of intersection. Within that context, I would just like to highlight and emphasize the importance of the work that admin assistants have to carry out, because within that stratified kind of arrangement, you are really the bridge between the ATS and the academics. And we rely on you significantly to help our academic managers to navigate the administrative space, which sometimes can be bureaucratic and tedious for an academic. And I mean, Not many people have patience even filling out a form. Yesterday I was in a quality assurance review, and I was being interviewed by the external reviewers. And one of the things that was brought up was the extent to which we are calling on our academics to take on more and more administrative work. And of course, the complaint is that that takes them away from their substantive duties as researchers and teachers and so on. And that may be so. And within that context, the work of admin assistants become very, very important. As some of you will know, all of you should know by now, we have in recent times introduced additional layers on the whole administrative process in relation to hiring, in relation to HR matters. I'm speaking specifically to the Staff Matters Committee, which was reestablished last year, as well as the Vacancy Monitoring Committee. The objective of those committees is really to ensure that one, our hiring process is efficient, and two, that we are as transparent as possible with our hiring and appointments, and that within the context of our financial problems, we are only hiring when it is absolutely necessary. And I know that sometimes it can be frustrating because the process is new and it's bureaucratic, but we have to look on the larger objective. And I know that our academics sometimes, find it a little tedious. And I was happy when Mrs. Mangaro told me that you all formed this group, this body, and we have found it extremely useful to make our pitch to you as the people who are the arms and the legs to make it happen within the dean's office, within the department offices and so on. And I think that has made things considerably easier for all of us. And we will continue to engage you in that regard, because as I said, we see you as a bridge between the academics and administration. So I want to congratulate you and be assured that your work is valued. I am one of those bosses that has been completely spoiled in my 20 years as a manager. There was a time I used to come to work at 7, full of energy, to say I'm going to take on this and take on that. Only to find that when I come and after having read the newspaper, there's nothing else I can do until 8:30 when my secretary comes in, because I don't know where in the file is. I've never been able until recent time to type a letter for myself. I'm being frank with you, because I grew up in a system where, I had up to 3, 1 admin assistant and 2 secretaries. So I'm spoiled. They take care of my emails, they screen, and they tell me what I need to act on and so on. And I have developed personally a relationship. I've had one secretary from my days as a chief technical director in the Ministry of Water, from about 2000, right until I left the Ministry of Agriculture in 2019. And anywhere I'm transferred to, she comes with me, because after a while she becomes family. And even now we maintain very close contact. And sometimes I have to wonder 2 things. 1, whether she realized that she no longer works with me. Or 2, whether the boss that she now has know that we still have this relationship, because she still, watch my back, tell me everything happening and so on and so forth. So that's the kind of value we put on a relationship with people who really, really, really make our work so much easier. So within this university, what we're trying to do is to create that kind of culture. And that's why we are trying to implement what we call a performance management system. where every single employee, regardless of the role you play, regardless of where you're on the totem pole, understands that you have a unique opportunity, a unique contribution to make. We have some big strategic goals, but they mean nothing until every single employee, every single person that is employed here can say, this is my unique contribution to making that big goal happen. And we want to create that kind of culture, that kind of ethos, so that everybody understands that whatever we do is well valued and contributes to. So when we boast that we are #1 in the Caribbean and #2 in the top 2% in Latin America and the top 3% in the world, everybody can stake a claim and say, listen, I was part of that bigger movement. So we are here to support you. Finally, I just want to say that I am leading with my colleague registrars across the other campuses an effort to kind of get rid of that kind of rigidity in terms of the division, who is ASAP, who is ATS, and that kind of thing. Yes, we perform different functions, but all our functions are complementary. And when we reintroduce the Staff Matters Committee, and I'm very happy that we have the tenant online here who is the chairman for that committee, it was really to give the kind of respectability to people in the ATS group as we accord people in the ASAP group in respect to the Appointments Committee. I think we need to treat with their matters with no less probity, with no less transparency, and with no less professionalism and urgency as we treat with the ASAP appointments within the Appointments Committee. And I'm happy that we have been able to do that, and your representative have been able to sit on that committee. And I'm happy that no less a person than the Dean of Social Sciences, Professor Tennant, is chairing that committee. So to close, I just want to say on behalf of the principal and the management, senior management here, on behalf of all our deans, that your work is very valuable and valued. And we expect that this body that you have taken initiative to form will become entrenched and established and respected and known in as much as we have other groupings. And that next year, God's willing, despite our impecunity, despite our dire financial situation, we will ensure that this day is given greater recognition and celebrated across the entire campus. Thank you. Keep up the good work. God bless you. Unfortunately, I have to run. I have a university meeting, but I felt that this was important to leave for a while to come and address you. Thank you very much. All the best, and do enjoy your day. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stanbury. We are very happy that you took the time to share with us this morning. We're very happy for that. And one of the things that I certainly will take away from that, Dr. Stanbury, is that you're a very honest person. We like the information. You have inspired us as we have inspired you, and your honesty allows us to look forward with great anticipation to our next Administrative Professionals Day activities. We know that things are challenging on the university, and we certainly are understanding and empathetic. But our team here, the administrators, the administrative officers for our faculties, we are committed to join with whatever efforts you are doing just to ensure that our group, the extended group of administrators, secretaries, and clerks and all administrative personnel understand the commitment that the campus has to its team members. So thank you, Registrar. Thank you so much. At this time, to address Please join me in welcoming Professor Tennant at this time.
Colleagues, it is my honor to bring greetings on this year's Administrative Professionals Day. I'd like to commend the organizers of this event for their thoughtfulness and effort exerted. As this year's chairman of the Mona Campus Committee of Deans, I've been asked to share a few words on behalf of the deans. Deans operate in a sometimes uncomfortable space as academics who function primarily as administrators. As the operational leaders of our respective faculties and as part of the campus senior management team, we're heavily involved in matters of both a strategic and an operational nature. In fulfilling these functions, we interface with everybody, from students to lecturers to administrative staff within our faculties and in several different departments across the campus. I don't know about the other deans, but having served 3 years as dean, this job has done a really good job of teaching me about what I do not know. I tell my colleagues all of the time that a PhD or a professorship has done nothing to prepare me for administration. Administrative professionals are just that, trained professionals who have specialized in the provision of administrative leadership and support in a variety of arenas. And the deans on this campus are grateful for the fact that we're surrounded by such professionals who effectively and efficiently fulfill their functions with commitment, diligence, integrity, and pride. Colleagues, as I've said in my own faculty, in an academic setting, there's a risk that administrative professionals and technical staff can be undervalued and underappreciated. And this would be a terrible, terrible mistake to make, reflective of an ignorance about how our university actually operates. Administrators who often work behind the scenes are critical to the quality of our final output. As a university, our primary products are in education and our research outputs. Our ability to earn our way from these outputs is dependent not only on what and how we teach and research, but also on our customer service, the efficiency and efficacy of our processes and procedures, and the effective use of technology in interfacing with our customers. Our administrators are also critical to our quality of life as employees of the university. As internal customers, we rely on administrators and technical staff for a myriad of services that we never fully appreciate until there's some disruption in the flow of work. Meetings organized, events planned, contracts signed, pay received, notes recorded, communique dispatched. Colleagues, just as how we complain on the occasions when things don't go well, it is only fair that we duly praise and commend our administrative professionals for the large majority of times when they function so smoothly that our operations seem seamless. And this is critical, colleagues, as we operate in a challenging environment of financial stringency, heightened competition, and massive adjustments to the COVID and post-COVID context. We will need seamless operations, sound budgeting, and financial management, efficient functioning, capable human resource management and development, effective customer service, and potent communication and marketing. This year, Administrative Professionals Day is being commemorated under the theme, Administrative Professionals Navigating Beyond Barriers. And this is exactly what the UA needs from all of us now. We need to be able to navigate beyond the barriers that we have grown used to over time. We need to change how we do things to thrive in the post-COVID-19 context. We will need to change how we operate if we were to move beyond the financial crisis that was besetting us from even before COVID. We will need to change to meet the demands of a new market, new customers, students who demand a different type of service, and a government which is increasingly likely to make its funding contingent on strategic imperatives that they define. Colleagues, as a university, we must navigate beyond barriers. We must and we will, and our administrative professionals are critical to our achieving this goal. My encouragement to you as I close this morning is to see yourselves as leaders and drivers of this process in your own sphere of influence. Change does not only have to be driven from the top down. Sustainable change is often best achieved when everyone is involved and owns the process of change. We all need to be visionaries, looking out for opportunities to be more efficient and effective as we lift the institution to the next level. We all need to be missionaries, spreading the word and converting others to the new way of doing things beyond the old barriers and obstacles that confined us. And we all need to be trusted commissaries, ones to whom duties can be entrusted by our supervisors with the full knowledge that they will be fulfilled to the best of our abilities. Again, on behalf of the Mona Deans, I sincerely thank all the administrative professionals in the University of the West Indies. We acknowledge and appreciate the important work that you do and the tremendous effort that so many of you exert to ensure that high standards are maintained. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much, Professor Tennant. We really thank you for that, those words of gratitude and the challenge that you have put out to us. As you have stated, it's a time of resilience. It's a time to change our thought concept and the way we go about our daily operations. So I put it to the team this morning, having listened to you, Professor Tennant, for us to rise to the occasion and to ensure that we offer cutting-edge service, not just regular service, but customer service that exceeds all expectations, right? Remembering at the same time that we not only serve our external stakeholders, but we serve our internal team members. So we want to ensure that our work speaks volume for us, right? So thank you, Professor Tennant and all our deans for your kind support of this initiative and your appreciation of gratitude for the administrative professionals. Thank you so much. At this time, we will have a presentation from the National Housing Trust. Now, we are administrators who are navigating beyond borders. If ever a time that was an imperative, it is now. And we have to be, look at different ways how we can communicate, how we can offer the services that we do. And, we want to move together, pull together, and this initiative that we have started is a good way of doing that. So we welcome everyone to join with us and partner with us. The NHT is going to share with us, colleagues, on opportunities for home ownership. You may already have a house. You may already, be benefiting in one way or the other. You never know how you can tap into what the NHT offers. But to tell us further this morning, I'm going to invite Mrs. Peter Gay McEwan-Lewis, Administrative Officer from the Faculty of Law, to introduce the NHT team this morning and to share with us in brief what they will be doing. So please receive Mrs. McEwan-Lewis at this time.
Good morning, colleagues. Happy Administrative Professionals Day. All right, we will now be hearing a special presentation entitled Opportunities for Home Ownership. To address us this morning are Mr. Jawanza Hall and Mrs. Kamisha Samuel-Smith from the National Housing Trust. Mr. Hall has been an employee at NHT for approximately 15 years. He's the Senior Marketing Officer with responsibility for Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. Mrs. Samuel-Smith comes to us with more than 17 years of experience in various capacities at the Trust. She's currently the Senior Marketing and Sales Officer with responsibility for St. Catherine. Both Mr. Hall and Mrs. Samuel-Smith have a wealth of knowledge to assist individuals with achieving their home ownership goals. Please make them welcome. We invite you to share your comments and questions in the chat during the presentation because there's going to be a question and answer segment immediately afterwards. Mr. Hall and Mrs. Smith, welcome. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you very much for that, Ms. McEwan. And first of all, I just want to wish all the administrative assistants and professionals a happy Administrative Professionals Day. Now, the NHT has a responsibility to our contributors and the citizens of Jamaica, right? And you are so special, and we are so happy to be a part of this platform this morning. I'm going to be sharing my screen so that persons can have visibility of what is it I will be presenting on. Persons are actually seeing the screen, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, that's good. All right. Really, our aim is really to empower Jamaicans to be homeowners. And in doing so, the NHT thrives on a few things. One, we basically want to be ranked among the leading finance institution in the world, renowned for customer service and national development. Now, persons who have been exposed to the National Housing Trust can attest to the fact that we offer the best customer service in the public sector. Our mission is really to improve the quality of life of Jamaicans by facilitating home ownership and community development. And we say particularly among low-income earners, but further to that, we provide affordable housing for all, right? So we try to ensure that all contributors are able to access a benefit from the trust. What do we do here? And we provide loans to buy, build, or repair, right? So if it is that you are a contributor to the trust, these are some of the things that we look at. We look at loans for you to access to buy, to build, or repair, all right? We also generate funding for the housing construction sector to promote and improve building systems at greater efficiency. This is where we get involved with the developers, and we assist the developers in order to provide housing, because NHT by itself wouldn't be able to increase the housing stock as we want to. So we partner with other developers to meet this mandate. Now, how are we funded? We're funded through your contribution. Now, as administrative staff, you're considered to be employed. So what happened is 2% of your gross salary, right, is taken from your salary. So if it is, when you see that line item on your pay slip, NHT, it's really 2% to which is contributed to the trust. If it is that persons are self-employed, they contribute 3%. And voluntary, and what we consider to be voluntary, persons who are not mandated to pay their NHT but wants to, like persons who lives overseas, Jamaicans living overseas and want to contribute to the National Housing Trust, they can, and they will access the benefits as well. It's just that they'll take up to 2 years, whilst persons who are local and employed and self-employed, 1 year after contribution, they can access their benefit. As stated just now, when you look at the slide, the qualifying requirements is really for for you to be whether in the capacity of an employed, self-employed individual, or again, as a voluntary contributor. But voluntary would wait 2 years, right? So it's stated that you have to have made at least 52 weekly contributions, of which 13 must be made in the last 26 weeks. What is this saying? You make 1 year of contribution, and to ensure that in the last 6 months, the last 13 of that last 2 weeks should be current, or the last three months, sorry, should be current in your payments, right? So you should have no late payments, because once the payments have become late, it will affect you in accessing your loan. And persons must be between the ages of 18 years to 70 years old. All right, one other thing that NHT gets all its compliments about is the fact that we offer our loans at the lowest interest rate, right? So the interest rate that we offer now is really minimum wage to 15,000, 0%. If it is that you're earning these incomes weekly, 15,000 to 30,000, 0%. Right? 30,000 to 42,000, 2%. And for persons who are earning 42,000 and over weekly, 4%. And even at our highest interest rate, the NHT still stands to be the lowest in the market, like about 3 to 4 points lower. Now, if it is a part of the public sector, all the percentages decreased by 1. So you find that persons earning between 30,000 and 42,000 is really 1%, and 42,000 and over 3%. If it is that you're 55 years and older, further decreasing the interest rate as well. So persons you're earning from 7,200 per week up to 42,000 per week is 0%. That's the interest rate. And 42,000 over 2%. And the same interest rate applied for 55 years and over is the same interest rates that's applied to persons that has a disability and are registered with the Jamaica Disabilities Association of Jamaica. Most importantly too, these offers are made over a loan term of 40 years. So it simply means that you have a longer period in order for you to make the payments, and it makes it more affordable, far more affordable. All right. Now, our benefits, as stated earlier, is really for you to buy, build, or improve. Now, when it comes on to buying, the NHT only offer loans for first-time homeowners. All right. So if it is that you want to purchase on the open market, we offer you up to $6.5 million per contributor and $13 million if it is that two persons coming together. Both persons would have to be a contributor for the 52 weeks as stated earlier. And this 6.5 is subject to affordability. So we must show proof that you can make payments. Right? So not everybody is qualified for the 6.5. It's dependent strongly on your salary. We also give loans for house lots, land, and we give up to $2.5 million per contributor for that, and $5 million for co-applicants. The difference with the house lot loan, because NHT aim is for you to have your own home. When we give you that amount for your house lot to buy the piece of land, the difference of the loan entitlement can be used for constructing the house. So the difference from the 6.5, if it is that you are entitled to 6.5, $4 million. And that $4 million can be used to start the construction of your house. And again, if it is that two persons coming together, it's really $5 million, and you'll get the additional 8 to build. Now, the NHT has introduced cluster housing about a few years now, but it's becoming more and more popular. It's really you having the ability to create your own development. So what NHT is saying that a minimum of 3 persons joining, but a maximum of 9 lots, and a maximum of 9 lots. And you get up to $2.5 million per loan to acquire the piece of land. Now, look at it.
Mr. Hall, just one interjection as it relates to cluster housing. The NHT has improved this facility by offering an additional $500,000 to assist with the subdivision and the splintering of the title. So instead of only accessing 2.5 million when you are purchasing in a cluster, you'll now be able to access up to $3 billion. That will give you sufficient funds for purchasing and to get your splinter title and to do your subdivision and also your development plan. So recently, this improvement took place. So it's no longer only 2.5 million, but you'll now be able to access $3 million under the cluster facility. Go ahead, Mr. Hall.
Okay. All right. And that is really good too. As I said, Ms. Smith. The fact is, the cluster housing give you that ability to create your own. So you have input in the look and feel of that development. And the fact is, I don't know if this is an advantage or disadvantage, but you know your neighbors before you start, because everybody pulling together funds and building this community of their liking. And that, to me, we have gotten quite a few thus far. And persons are quite comfortable and enjoying their space because they had an input in it. They know how it would look and feel. And so they are enjoying the comfort of that cluster housing benefit. Now, if it is that you prefer not to buy on the open market and you're not interested in cluster housing, but you have a piece of land to which you have gotten before, and you have a title for this land, we offer a loan to build on your own land. And you get up to $6.5 million per contributor. And again, up to $13 million for co-applicant. So you can already have your piece of land, the NHT will give you monies to build on that land. Where your construction loan is concerned, it's what I told you earlier in regarding to the house lot loan, it's really the difference between the lot, that the house lot loan that you got and your loan entitlement. And that would have been the amount given to you for your construction. Now, persons might have said, boy, I've made use of NHT already, or I have my own house. How am I going to benefit from the NHT? I've never benefited before, and I have my own property. I want a benefit because I've been contributing. So the NHT is not ruling you out. What we do, we give you up to $2.5 million and $5 million is co-applicant. So if you want to spruce up your property, if you want to improve it, if you want to increase the value of it. So we give you that $2.5 million to do some improvement to your property or offer any form of repairs if needs be. Now, on the other hand, if it is that you have benefited from the NHT, but you benefited like 15 years ago, and you are a part of the private sector, you would have to wait that 15 years and you'll get up to $2.5 million to improve the property or repairs as well. And now we're getting closer towards the hurricane season. So if there's any areas in the roof and you want to fix before any of that happen, you can always come to the NHT. Once you're part of the public sector, there's a 5 years discount in the time to wait. So you see a 10 plus there. That is for public sector workers, and you get up to $2.5 million after your first benefit, and $5 million for co-applicant. We also offer loan for solar panel, but what I want you to understand, if it is that you take the solar panel loan, you don't have access to the home improvement loan. So it's one or the other, right? So we give a loan for solar panels. If you want to take some stuff off the grid, we will assist you with that. And the time wait still remains the same. After 15 years, if you're a part of the private sector, and 10 years if you're part of the public sector. And if it is that you didn't take a loan from the NHT before, you can access that home improvement loan, like start the process like today. All right. Now, the NHT realizes that, you know, to finance housing it's not the hardest thing to do. What we realize most of our contributors is that the deposit serves to be the biggest problem for most. So what NHS does, that contribution that you make over the years, there's one benefit where you can have this refunded to you after 8 years, or you can have the amount that is not yet due for refunds, right? You can get that amount advanced to you, and that amount can advance to you to assist you with your deposit, your legal fees, shortfall, your surveyor's ID report, your valuation report, structural engineering report. These are all items that those are costs that you will incur in you trying to acquire a house. And trust me, it has helped quite a bit of persons. For argument's sake, if you look at how much you earn per year and you find that 2% of it, and you realize, let's say for simple figures, $50,000, right? And then you have from 2013 up to 2020, 7 years, you're looking at $350,000. And if it is that we're looking at a house and what is now on the market, if it is that you're purchasing on open market, right? The standard for most is like you have to find 10% deposit. So let's say there is a house here for $10 million. 10% deposit is $1 million. But NHT with that 350,000, you're now looking at 650. You get me? So it really helps where that is concerned. So whenever you start the process, ask about that contribution that can be used towards a deposit or any shortfall or housing related matters, and the customer service agent will assist. Now, there are persons who, when you earn between that $7,200 and $15,000 weekly, you find that persons will not be able to access the $6.5 million. We will also agree that there are not many houses out there that cost less than $6.5 million. So what the NHT does, because we want to assist everybody, we give those persons a grant of $2.5 million once they have contributed over for the last 7 years, right? And if it is that they're earning between the $7,200 and $15,000 a week, they're eligible for our home grant. Now, that same person cannot access as a single applicant more than $7 million. So it simply means if it is that they're qualified for $5.5 million, they can only access $1.5 million out of that $2 million grant, because the amount should not exceed that $7 million. And as for a co-applicant, if it is that they're joining with somebody else, that amount should not exceed $9 million. All right. Another enabler to which we just try to find all the necessary ways where we can help persons, because we know the feat of acquiring a house is not the easiest, so we put in all the necessary enablers to make it as easy as possible, with your input, of course, being disciplined and stick to your goals. We have what we call parent assist tool. What this really saying, because we only give loans to first-time homeowners, right? But you have a parent who has been contributing to the NHT. That parent is under 65 years, and that parent has been contributing over 10 years, and is also a homeowner, but did not buy their house through the NHT, right? But they want to assist a biological or legally adopted child. That parent can. What will happen? We will give that child the amount that the parent is entitled to. So if the parent is entitled to the $6.5 million, the child can access that $6.5 million. And now, in access that 6.5, it then gives the child a supplement. If it is that the child is qualified for 6.5 as well, no child will have an amount of $13 million to go to the market. Right, and that the child will have to be worried about the years of payback, because we are using the child's own tenure. The child is 30 years old, that child will get that 40 years on that loan that the parent can access for the child. And
One point, just to interject, Mr. Hall. Just to indicate, based on my experience where parent assist is concerned, yes, you have to be between the ages of 18 and 65, having your 10 years contribution. However, what I find is that where the father is assisting the biological child, so many times the father's name is not on the child's birth certificate for whatever reason. And so if it is that this is a facility that you are considering based on the information we are providing today, ensure that your father's name is on your birth certificate. Or else, of course, you'd have to have some delays in getting that done before. This is something that I've seen a number of times in processing loans under parent assist, where the daddy's name is not on the title, on the birth certificate, and then persons have to go and get that done and come back for their processing to be complete. So that's very important. Your documentation, the spelling of your name, especially for the ladies who have double barrel names, they are married and they're using maiden and married, the consistency of the spelling of the name, and even for men too who might not use a middle name very often. And so when you come to us, you find that there's some incorrection with the spelling of your name. Very important that when you're about to do any transaction, that you check all your documentation to ensure that there's consistency across everything. Go ahead, Mr. Hall.
right, and just to add, there has been a policy change as well, in regarding to the total refund. The parents must never have received a total refund, that has been changed to say that the person can receive their total refund. All right, now other options. Now, let's say, boy, Mr. Hall, I can get up to $6.5 million. I see a property is really $13 million. I don't have anybody to join me. And we're saying that we give persons the opportunity, whereas we have a joint finance mortgage program with all the financial institutions, and where you can get the remainder from the banks, right? So if it is that you're qualified for the 6.5, the property is $30 million, and when you go to either the NCB, Sagicor, Scotia, VMBSJ, and JMB, all the financial institutions, when you go to either of which they said that, boy, you're qualified for $15 million, what will happen there and then? You'll get the NHT's portion at NHT's rate, right? So you wouldn't lose that interest rate and you wouldn't lose that tenure. And you will get the remainder at the bank's rate. And the good thing about the joint finance, everything is done at the institution. So it's a one-stop shop. You wouldn't have to come to the National Housing Trust because we have an arrangement with them. So what we do, they do all the processing, and you don't have to come to the NHT in regard to that. If it is that you need additional information, sure, we're here to assist you. But we don't want to have the hassle of going in between banks. The power pursuit, persons may choose to go to other institutions like credit union or some other institution. The power pursuit is just really a legal agreement between the two institutions to share their ranking status on the security of the loan. So in this case, you have to go to that institution, negotiate your mortgage there, and then you come to the NHT. So you'd have to go back and forth in between the two institutions. Now, we also offer what we microfinance. This is where we teamed up with the credit unions, and the credit union on-lend funding for us of up to $1.5 million to deal with any housing-related matters, such as land purchase, deposit, construction, legal fees, home improvement. But what we do, on the first drawdown, you only can draw down $850,000, and the remainder at a later date. And this is only for persons who are earning up to $42,000 weekly. Now, our scheme options. I think one of the most popular thing when persons hear NHT, what goes synonymous with NHT, the person will normally say points and scheme. And for that matter, I'm just letting you know, the points, when you refer to points, it says only relating to our scheme options, nothing else, right? So why the point system? The fact is, the housing demand is extremely high and the supply doesn't really match the demand. And what we realize when we put out a scheme of, let's say 100 solutions, right? We have like 2,000 persons applying for that 100. So it therefore means we have to find a way to basically things equitable for within our selection process. So we have what we call a priority index entitlement system. And this is where we prioritize persons who live and or work within the parish of the development. So for argument's sake, if it is that we have a development in Kingston and St. Andrew, persons who are working or live in Kingston and St. Andrew, they will be prioritized. Then after which, we look at how long you've been contributing. And you get 20 points per year of contribution. All right, so for every year, you get 20 points, right? And the person with the highest points and live or work in the parish, that's how the selections are made, right? So as stated here, points are awarded derived on the week contributions and current income. You earn 20 points for every year. of 52 weeks contributions. Now, with that said, we have some upcoming schemes. We have schemes in Perth, Manchester, and 32 bedrooms and 83 service lots. So service lots are just land space that has the necessary utilities attached to water and the light. So it's just a matter of you buying the service lot and getting the construction loan to build. And then we have Ruthven Towers. Ruthven Towers is in St. Andrew. It's on Ruthven Road. It's a apartment complex. We have 14 2-bedrooms and 72 1-bedrooms, right? The prices on Ruthven Towers are not yet available. But what we're now doing is, persons who have interest, we basically taking their information so that as the information become available to us, we can pass it on. All right, and I just want to add, in addition to everything that I've just said, these are what NHD has to offer, but what you have to offer yourself. I heard earlier on where Mr. David Tennant, and he was saying, own the process of change. And then further to that, or rise to the occasion. The fact of the matter is, it depends on you. It requires discipline. If it is that you seek security, you seek independence, you seek the breaking of quote unquote generational poverty, you want to leave somewhat of a legacy, and you want comfort, it is always good for not somebody to be knocking at your door as a landlord, but you knocking at somebody else's door. It's always better to collect than to give. So you don't want to be putting more funding in somebody else's pocket. You want to build your asset base, right? And I urge everybody, persons who have not, start in pursuit, start now. And again, it requires discipline. It requires saving. And I will say it again, it requires discipline. So as much as all the NHD will offer the 0%, remember that one, if it's on the open market, it's going to require a deposit. It's going to require legal fees, but it has a lot to do with you. I remember, I think Mrs. Smith spoke about a situation yesterday, and she was talking about this lady who sell donuts out by Spanish Town, by the train line. And I don't know, you could share the story, because I don't want to take it on.
Okay, sure, no problem. Before I share my story, just want to add that there also are upcoming schemes in the parish of St. Catherine. Some of them will be ready next year, 2022. Villages of Colbeck Castle is one such scheme located in Old Harbour. And if you've heard about Colbeck Manor being built by Chemtech, we're basically adjacent to that development. And we're going to be having some serviced lots as well as 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom solutions. The lots will be ready next year, so keep that in mind. And also, Catherine Estate is another development that will be offered to the residents of St. Catherine. The developer is Housing Agency of Jamaica. If you go on their website, you'll see much more about that. And there are other small pockets of developments being built by Venetia Realty. And there's another development in Linstead called Rosemere. So these are not large developments, but they might be offering 30-something units, 20-odd units, and some of them are really reasonably priced. So for those of you on this platform who are not yet homeowners, I urge you to be very diligent in your search to find the property that suits you and your household. So yesterday I was on another platform and I was talking to a group of small business operators. And just to encourage the group, I am encouraged each time I hear these stories. This is a person I interviewed probably 10 years ago when I was a loans officer at the St. Catherine branch. This lady sells donut and water and juice at the train line on the Spanish Town bypass. And when she came to me, she started telling me her story, had a very difficult life to that point. And her biggest motivator was the fact that now she had a son and she would not want him to experience the hardship that she herself had to go through. And we spoke, and when it was time for her to sign the document, she said to Mrs. Smith, I cannot sign. And when I checked the sale agreement and everything, I realized that there was a clause that we had to be using, the marksman clause. She could not sign her name. She could only mark an X. She could not read any of the documentation that we had. I had to sit and read everything and explain it in simple terms. But she was so adamant that she would do everything she possibly could. She was self-employed, she registered, she located a little house in Portmore that was a little fixer-upper. She did it, and today she's still the owner of that house. She's still doing her little hustle, whatever she can do, and she has now secured a legacy for her child. And when I examine and I reflect on her story, anyone who is of able mind and body, anyone who is willing to work hard for what they want, can own a home in Jamaica. She is the greatest example of resilience and discipline and simply making sure that she has a brighter future for her children. So I share that story whenever I can for all the persons who say, boy, I can't save. I hear this so many times. We have big town hall meetings. We have these large databases of people that we're encouraging to take that step. Persons who have indicated that they want to own something. And one of the popular things that they say to us is, we can't say, what am I saving out of? I can't manage. I have this, I have that, or I am a single parent. But because we've seen so much of these stories, you wonder what is the difference between the lady who sells on the train line or the little man that owns that little corner shop in the community. And they are homeowners. The barber who rents his chair in a barber shop, and he's a homeowner, and that person came just the other day to get their home improvement loan. And you look at these people and you wonder, if they can do it, anyone can do it. So that's my encouragement to anybody who is on this platform, whose desire is to become a homeowner. You can do it. You can do it. We have seen it happen. We've seen the sacrifices. We've heard about people drinking ramen noodle soup for dinner, stop going out, whatever it is that they spend on that they decide, I'm going to do without this to achieve a greater goal. I say to everyone on this platform, you can do it too.
All right, thank you very much. No, in concluding, I'm just saying that we are committed to providing the quality housing for Jamaicans, and I am committed to assist and be that personal guide that everyone on this platform may seek. And I know Ms. Kamisha Smith is also interested in doing that. So any questions that you may have, we are here to answer those for you. You can
also, Mr. All, you can ask them to put their contact number or the link to their contact card in the chat. You can put your contact number in the chat, and we will, if you're interested in speaking to us further, or Mr. Hall will also put the link to the contact card that you can complete, indicate which parish you'd like to own your home. It will come to the relevant officer. So you can go ahead and do that.
All right, it is now in the chat. So I want to thank you guys for inviting us to participate on such a special day for you. We hope we have given you all the necessary information and arm you well enough to basically go out there and start looking. And as we said, we offer a personal guide, right? In basically you acquiring your own home. So we appreciate this platform, and we look forward to all the questions. So any questions, you can go ahead.
All right. Let me ensure that I get this right. Mr. Jawanza Hall.
Yes, I applaud you for that. First time people getting it right on the first go.
You have a good team that ensured that we did. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're not quite through with you yet. That was a very informative presentation. A few questions though. Forgive us if we want a further elaboration on it and points that may have been mentioned. But one question that came was what determines when someone qualifies for an NHT scheme unit? What distinguishes an applicant who gets accepted versus one who doesn't? I know you spoke to this, and that was very useful because I don't think I knew that aspect of it before. So could you help us in brief just to understand again how this is done?
You want to take that, Mr.?
Sure, no problem. Scheme selection is based on two major factors. One, where you live and work in proximity to the development. So for example, if you live and work in Kingston and you want Ruthven Towers, that's good. You can't be in Trelawney and want Ruthven Towers, all right? So you must live and or work in the parish where the development is located. Secondly, selection is based on the number of points you would have accumulated over your work life. For every 52 weeks, which is a year, that you are a contributor to the NHT, you earn 20 points. Bonus points are added based on your income. So the persons who have been working the longest, contributing the longest, accumulated the highest number of points, and who also live or work in the parish would be what we call the first set of persons that we would look at. Unless someone changes their mind and drop out, then someone else who applied who is in the queue would be selected. And another important point to note, affordability is also a big issue because you could satisfy what I'm saying now. However, at the time of an interview or preliminary assessment, you are now unable to afford the repayment on the loan and you have a shortfall and you don't have any personal funds or the ability or the capacity to be able to borrow additional funding from another institution. So those things you may not be able to access the benefit. Bear also in mind that housing is a very scarce benefit. And I'm going to put it into context for you. The last development that was sold in St. Catherine offered 140 solutions to the public. However, over 6,000 persons applied. So you find that 6,000 persons are disappointed. It's not that they do not qualify, all of them don't qualify, it's just that we do not have enough solutions to satisfy the demand. But if somebody will say to me, oh, Kamisha, I am sure I'm going to get it. I say, how long have you been contributing? Long time. I say, tell me how many years? And the person say 5 years. Now, unless you are selected under what we call special benefits order, that's when a number of the solutions in the development is reserved for young professionals, young persons. They may not have a lot of years of contribution, but we would select a few of those persons to be able to access the benefit. Again, there's not enough solutions for everybody. And which is why I say to persons, don't put your egg in one basket. There are options. You can buy land and build. You can buy a house on the open market. You can buy a little fixer-upper and take your time and make it into what you want it to be, right? So there are options.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Lots to consider on and a lot to guide us. Next question says, how soon after getting a mortgage can one benefit or qualify for home improvement loan? Is it 10 or 15 years? How does it go?
Yes. Well, it's 10 years if it is that you're a part of the public sector, and 15 years.
Sorry, Mr. Hall, and clarify for us, the UWI in this context it would be such 10 years.
Yes, I think the UWI is public sector.
Yes, right. Just to be clear for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. If someone got an NHT loan before, but they would now qualify for a greater amount, can they apply a second time to purchase another, say, land or another home?
No, if it is when they apply for the loan is upon that policy at the time to which they will get that benefit. So the policy will maintain that if it is that they qualify, let's say for argument's sake, a few years ago it was at 5.5. Now it changes to 6.5. You have already used your benefit during that period of the 5.5, so you wouldn't be able to get an additional amount, right? What you'll be able to get access to is your home improvement, if it is that you have passed that time span.
I just want to also add that where you borrowed years ago, and say, for example, a few years ago, the loan limit was 5.5 million. But what if when you purchased your house at that time, you did not need to utilize the full 5.5 and you have a balance of, say, 700,000? You can come back for what is called open market add funds, but it can only be used to improve on the existing property. You'll not be able to get that money to assist you with the purchase of another property. But if you did not use up the full entitlement at the time, you can come and access the benefit to improve on your open market home.
Okay, great, thank you. Is there a UWI rep at the NHT? There should be.
Well,
something to think about.
There are a lot of UWI grads.
Should be, as it should be.
Yeah. So okay. I'm sure for myself being in Kingston and St. Andrew, one of my main goal is basically to assist persons once they have interest. I'll definitely come to you guys. I'm here to facilitate you, and I'm committing myself to that. All right.
Great. Thank you so much. Another question: how does one indicate an interest? Again, I know Miss Samuel, sorry, just mentioned, but please remind us, how do we indicate an interest, say, in Ruthven Towers or another project?
Ruthven is for Joanza.
All right.
Your project.
All right, for Ruthven Towers, if it is that person that are interested, the link, you can just click on it and put that it is interested. For any other project, the same, our contact information, it just comes to put it because what we will do, we will carry on calling. All right. So what we will do, we'll send the necessary correspondence as they become available for the upcoming scheme. So that is the reason why we take your information now, so that whichever interest you state, whether land, scheme, whatever, we send you the correspondence the information that you want. Because we don't want to bombard you with stuff about land that you have no interest in land. You know, so we will customize it to suit your need.
Sounds wonderful. Another question that has come in, and we will try to wrap up now, but a few more just to go. Can I get access to a loan to improve a space at my parents' house, even if my name is not on the deed? If so, will that affect my 6.5 million benefit when I'm ready for my own home?
Definitely would affect it. And yes, if your peer, you can, and it depends on if both parents borrowed from the NHT already, or one parent. So we're going to ask a lot of questions, but all things being equal, you could access your benefit to build or expand on your parents' property, but you would be utilizing your benefit. So at the time when you are now ready to access your load, you would have already utilized it. But what I would recommend for that person is that if it is a small project that you wish to do to improve your parents' house, that you use our microfinancing facility that Mr. Hall mentioned before, so you preserve your benefit for your future goals. Okay, so if you're having that issue, you have to note that you would not be able to get another benefit. You would have utilized your sole benefit on your parents' house.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. How do self-employed persons make their NHT payments, even for a person who's working minimum wage, like an household helper? We know persons can go into the trust and pay over the counter. What are the facilities?
Oh, no. In regarding to self-employed payments and registration, that is being done at the tax office now, right? So payments will have to be made at the tax office, and that is done on a quarterly basis. So once they go into the tax office, they'll be registered online, and then the payment is generated 3% of what they declared, and they pay that every 3 months. Now, as for persons that are voluntary contributor, and why I mentioned voluntary contributor is this is what is very popular here. Persons or family living overseas don't have any interest in coming back to Jamaica, but they want to assist a colleague, a family member here. They do 2 years, contribute for 2 years, and able to combine with that family member here. So they know they will contribute at the NHT or online. They can make the payments online.
Okay, so the first step then for a self-employed person is to go into the TAJ,
right,
and complete whatever process, and then they are directed to the NHT, and
all payments thereafter, all payments will be made at the tax office. Information will be sent from the tax office to us. But
right.
They would have to come to the NHT.
So when you make the payments at the tax office, would the next step then, I'm just thinking about how the person will start the process at NHT and what's the waiting period. That's what I'm getting.
All right. When the person made the payments at the tax office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the fact that all tax bodies are now in one, amalgamated. So what we see the information that is made at the tax office, right? So once they make the payment there, we are aware that they are registered. And they still have to wait that 52 weeks, that 1 year of payment, before they come to the NHT for the benefit.
Okay, so there's a 1 year window there, the 1 year waiting period.
Right.
Okay. All right, another question. Do you have any upcoming developments in Trelawney or St. James?
Trelawney or St. James? Do we have any, No, not any upcoming in Trelawney or St. James. And what we'll do the further check, we'll do further checks on that. So the person that has that interest, just let us know the location, and then we'll tell you when. I'm sure not this year.
Okay, if you could, whatever information you can provide, and you'll note that this question would have come, I believe, from one of our colleagues, because in Montego Bay, because participants are online from the Western Jamaica campus,
right,
and certainly they would want to benefit from these housing opportunities. So if you find out any information, please let us know so we can share it.
Most definitely, because what we will do, wherever the person is, we'll have a marketing officer make contact with he or she, and allow them to tell them their needs and see how best we can sort that out. As for the domestic workers that you made mention too, as opposed to other self-employed workers, domestic workers pay 2% and not 3%. 3% is for persons outside of domestic workers.
Okay. All right. Someone is asking you to repeat your WhatsApp number. If there's one for the trust, or is there a WhatsApp number for the National Housing Trust? Could you just quickly repeat it or put it in the chat, please?
Yeah, it's in the chat. But let me repeat it for person who want to hear. It's 876-829-0260. That is for my CUG, and for Mrs. Kamisha Samuel Smith, it's 876-829-0187.
All right, thank you. Is Phoenix on your home loan scheme?
Phoenix, no. Phoenix is a private
by Core Development.
Okay. If your name is on a title for a property not acquired through the NHT, can you access an NHT loan to purchase a different property? Should I repeat that, or did you get that?
No, I got it. I would ask a number of questions, but I'm gonna answer clean, and then I'm gonna give that person some things to think about. One, if your name appears on a title, you are a homeowner, and therefore you are entitled to a homeowner's loan of 2.5 million, and you can use it to purchase another property, to assist with the purchase of another property if you wish to do so. But what if your name is on this title because your parents placed your name on the title as a minor? Then we would not, then you could write to us to get special approval for you to still access your non-homeowners loan. So there's this offspring policy that we also have. I do not know the circumstances under which this person's name appears on a title, but if that is the case, then you could get your full benefit. Outside of that, you'd only be able to access 2.5 million, which is a homeowner's loan amount.
All right, thank you so much. Another question that has come, Ms. Chambers and Mr. Hall, says, should I desire home improvement, can the survey report as well as the evaluation report and building plan be factored in the loan since I'm unable to find the cash? I had the home for over 10 years.
All right, you're asking if it is that for the additional expenses, the surveyor, the evaluation, if that can be included. And I spoke to what we call the contribution refunds towards the deposit. That amount to which persons can check to see how much they have at the NHT, because that amount can be advanced to assist with expenses like that. So that's for a person to have the understanding of how that works. Let's say Tom Brown contribute to the NHT for 1 year, right? Over that 1 year period, Tom Brown contributed $50,000 to the NHT. Now, he contributed that amount in 2030. In 2013, come 2021, Tom Brown can refund that amount, right? Because we give back the monies after 8 years. Now, so Tom Brown, if he contributed in 2014 amount can be advanced to him if it is that he wishes to pay for some of those items that you just stated. So what persons can do is check with us and ask about the contribution refunds towards deposit, or just simply say your refunds you want to use to make some payment. If you don't remember the jargon, just remember that your contributions that you have made, you want it to be used towards your deposit or pay for your valuation, and we will understand exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. Okay. Can members of staff?
Oh, by the way,
yes.
I just want to let it be known that is not a loan either, right? That is your money that we are advancing to you.
To you. Okay.
About.
Okay, thank you. Can the UWI staff members benefit from NHT refunds?
Most definitely. Once the UWI staff members, as stated, you have contributed in 2013 or 8 years ago, you can always access your refund now. If come 2014, when we're refunding 2014, you get that back in 2022. So every 8 year, you get back that year of refund. So yes, the answer is yes. Now, if it is that you are a mortgager, right, at the NHT, those amounts will be transferred to your mortgage. And as for now, for public sector workers, we are relieved of that. Whereas you can.
Thank you so much. So if I benefit, if I didn't access I didn't know this, but I didn't apply for refunds, say for 2012, 2010, may I do so?
All years up to 2030.
2030, okay,
once you have not gotten your refunds for those years.
Excellent, excellent. There's another question, and I hope that's okay with you. We have a number of persons who are.
Go ahead, no problem.
Great, great, great. So we have a question. In my 50s, this person is in her 50s. She's living in her late parents' home. Can she get a home improvement loan from the NHT? What would be the procedure?
It depends. Again, She's living in her late parents' home. Was a will made? Was the house transferred to her, whose name now appears on the title? Those are questions that we would have to ask before we can answer. But if there was a will and she was a beneficiary and her name now appears on the title for the property, she could get an home improvement loan. But there are some things that would have to have information on before we can accurately advise her.
Okay,
So she would be one of those persons to call us or leave her contact number in the chat so that we can speak to her on one-on-one basis.
Okay. Next question. Can you get contribution refunds to deposits if you are doing joint mortgage? Can you get contribution refund to deposit if you are doing a joint mortgage?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay. Next question. How do you indicate your interest? Oh, I think this one went already. How does one indicate your interest in Ruthven Towers? I think you answered that already. All right, this other question. Can you benefit from the NHT a second time if you should sell your first home and need assistance to purchase another?
It depends how long ago you got the original loan. Remember, once you've sold, you're eligible for, well, once you've benefited, you're eligible for a second loan 15 or 10 years after, depending on your status. However, if you sell the property and there is a balance, you can apply for what is called a transfer of balance. So what it means, I purchased my home, I sold it. At the time when I paid off the balance on my loan, it was $5 million that I had to pay to close the loan, right? You can get that same $5 million to assist you with the purchase of another property. So the balance is being transferred to a new security. So if you're not yet at the 15-year or 10-year mark, and you've sold your property and you no want assistance, the only thing we could facilitate is a transfer of balance to assist you with the purchase of a new property.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Not sure if this one was addressed already, but it says, can you get contribution refunds to deposit if you're doing joint mortgage? You spoke to that?
Yes, we just did. Yes, you can.
Okay. Just checking to see if there are any other questions. One moment. All right, I think we have asked all the questions that have come to us. I see a last one just coming in. If I got a building loan before, can I get another one? Is that what you just spoke with? I don't know if this is a home improvement loan or build on own land loan. If I got a building loan before, can I get another loan?
If it is the person is asking if they had gotten a loan to build on their own land, there's the same thing that applied. If it is that if they can get another loan, it would be that 15 or 10 plus, that home improvement loan, right? So after the 10 years or the 15 years, dependent on which sector they are in, they can acquire that home improvement loan to improve the property or any repairs.
Okay. And if your name is on a title for a property not acquired through the NHT, can you access NHT loan to purchase a different property?
The answer to that is no. What you can do is access a home improvement loan to improve that said property.
And the home improvement loan is usually per individual 2.5, a maximum of 2.5 million.
Right, a maximum of 2.5 million, and if two persons coming together, a max of $5 million, dependent on their.
So it could be less. It really depends on the assessment outcomes.
Right.
Just want to add to for persons whose name appear on title for a house that they own outside of the NHT, that that 2.5 can be used to purchase land or purchase another property, because you've never benefited from the NHT. But the fact that your name is on the title, you only can access the 2.5. So you could use your home improvement loan to purchase land or assist with the purchase of another property.
Great. I saw, so we thank the NHT for sending some brochures and you know, material and literature on your offerings, your products and offerings. And I saw on it that you have this parent assist program. Mr. Hall may have alluded to it earlier in the presentation. I thought it was very interesting. I didn't know about this aspect of the NHT's products and services. Can you elaborate on it a little bit more?
All right. There is two parent assist. All right. The first of which I spoke to earlier, is the fact that if the parent has never benefited from the NHT, right, and they are a homeowner and they are under age 70, right, and they want to assist their child, they can assist their child, because what will happen, we use their entitlement. So if they're entitled to $6.5 million, and the child must be able, their income should be able to carry that amount as well. So even though the parent will want to assist, if the child cannot afford that additional amount, we can't give the child a loan. But if it is that they can afford it, sure, the parent can assist the child in regards to that. Then there is another side to the parent assist. It has to do with the schemes. And this is where, if it is that the parent is over the age of 65, they have never taken a total refund, they can take the total refund, you know? Yeah, if it is that they can still access a total refund. But the fact is, when they want to give their points to their child, so it better able that child to act to be selected. Why? Because remember, we stated that more points you have, the better chance you have. And that parent would have been contributing for far much longer than the child. So that the parent will assist in that regards.
Okay, thank you. How can one know which year's contribution that they are eligible for?
If it is which year they're eligible for a refund?
Yes.
All right. If it is that, if just for simple maths, just look at if it is that you have contributed 8 years ago. And if it is that you have never, you have collected some refunds, but you don't remember which year it was, one, you can download the app that will assist. And two, you can always call the NHT and we will assist you with that. You just need to provide us with your NIN. No. So we can tell you the years that have already been refunded.
Okay, and the NHT's main line, the switchboard line is 929-6500.
Right. Or you can, you're getting personal numbers here, so you can make use of those numbers. The 876-829-0260 and the 876-829-0187.
Yes, the UWI team, I can guarantee you. All right. Can one find out about the eligibility, their eligibility for a loan? To find out if eligible for a loan?
Yes, you were breaking up. Are you asking if someone can find out how much they are eligible for a loan? That's a question? Because you're breaking up for a bit. Mr. Hall, you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Esteban, you hearing us?
I'm hearing you.
Right.
Okay. Yes, you're not hearing me clearly?
You can go ahead. No, it wasn't just.
Yeah, can repeat the question, please.
Right. So, right. Can one find out about his or her eligibility for a loan without physically going into your offices?
Yes, you can use the mortgage calculator on our website, or you can call us, provide us with your age and your income, and we'll be able to do a calculation over the phone for you. So yes, you can do that. If you need an eligibility letter, you can email myself or Mr. Hall with the relevant documents, and one can be done and emailed back to you. So yes, you can find out without coming to the office.
All right. Thank you for answering that one. Let me see if there's any final as we. How long does the process from application to approval if all relevant documents are submitted? And so that's how long is the process from application to approval if all relevant documents are submitted? I think this is the last question I'm seeing. We'll allow for any last ones we can allow you to.
1 day.
1 day.
If you come in, let me explain the process. If you come in.
Wait, it's for the loan or for the eligibility?
She said she's for approval. So I'm going to give the entire timeline so that it's clear. A preliminary interview is usually done.
Right, from application to approval.
So that is your application day. You come in and your documents are examined. It's vetted to ensure that you have all the required documents. There are times when, if you are so prepared, a commitment letter can be issued the same day if available officers are there. However, usually you are scheduled for a second interview. This is your final interview with the next available loan officer. But we have sometimes there are persons who walk into the office, an officer is available, you have all the required documents and you get your approval. Now, there is now a time frame between approval and disbursement. So, for example, if you're buying a house, you have a sale agreement. The sale agreement comes with specific timelines in which the sale must be completed and the funds paid. Between the date where you get your approval is where you get your commitment letter, which is NHT's promise to pay, to the point where the funds are disbursed to the vendor's attorney, can take up to 90 days. That's 3 months. And so when you're coming to the NHT with a sale agreement, we will not accept a sale agreement less than 60 days remaining unless you sign a letter to say you exempt us from any liability should the process take longer than 60 days. If you're doing construction, the time between you getting your commitment letter to getting your first disbursement to start your building, again, is 90 days as well. That is the standard turnaround time.
All right, and as promised, this is the last question. Can you live on the Cayman Islands? Can you, a Jamaican, live on the Cayman Islands and benefit or contribute to the NHT scheme? What is the process for doing so?
Go ahead, Mr. All. Unmute.
Most definitely, you can contribute to the NHT. But there are different sides as it pertains. If it is that you're a citizen of a Jamaican living overseas, right, and is a citizen of that country, they are considered voluntary contributor. But let's say it's a Jamaican who overseas working, but is still working through our government, they are considered to be self-employed. And the simple answer to it is yes. One, if it is voluntary, it's done at the NHT, and they would have to wait 2 years. If that person, though, was contributing to the NHT before they left the island, and they contribute at least a year, they will only need to contribute 1 year while overseas to access their benefit. So the answer to your question is yes, they can, and yes, they will benefit. Okay, great.
All right, I think those are the questions. Those are the questions that I have received thus far. So thank you so much. I don't know if there's any last minute thing that you want to add. You have been very, very detailed, very informative. Is there any last thing you wish to add?
The last thing I would like to add is, you said it, rise to the occasion. Right, and persons who looking to do a little fix up, start early, you know, and get it out of the way as quick as possible, because the longer the delay, the greater the repairs. Greater repairs, simply put, you're just gonna end up spending. All right. So as we said, we are here to assist you, and whenever, feel free, you can give us a call or send us an email. We will respond.
All right, Mr. Hall, on behalf of the administrative officers and the administrative team members for the within the faculties at the University of the West Indies Mona campus and the Western Jamaica campus, we want to extend heartfelt thanks for you taking the time to share with us. The session was particularly meaningful to us this morning because the person who was scheduled to present was Mr. Dwayne Berbick, and we understand that he's not feeling well this morning. We're really sorry to hear that and wish him all the best. And it was this morning that you and Miss Samuels jumped in and filled the gap. And I really want to say on behalf of the team, you really did an excellent job in stepping in the gap this morning. We found we also want to acknowledge Miss Danielle Edwards. She was the liaison who arranged the session for us, with last minute change. But certainly on behalf of the entire team that is on board and will view, because there are several, many more persons who will view the session, which will be posted online. We want to thank you for your time. We want to thank you for the information shared. The session has been very informative. I have learned a lot, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of all the other team members that we have learned much from this session. We want to assure you that you will hear from us at the UWI. We will tap into the benefits, and we particularly appreciate the heads up about the new developments that are coming on stream, and you will be seeing the UWI actively and aggressively pursuing these options. And we look forward to getting as well information and opportunities that will benefit our team members at the Western Jamaica campus in particular. Right? So thank you so much again, Mr. Hall and Ms. Samuels and Ms. Edwards. We really are grateful. Many thanks from the UWI Mona team. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you for having us. It was our pleasure.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, administrative team members here at the UWI campus, we want to thank you again. It is our day, right? It is our day. And, I know our deans are reaching out to us. Professor Tennant spoke before. The registrar, Dr. Donovan Stanberry, spoke to us and expressed their gratitude and indicated that this has motivated them to the registrar in particular to look at how they may expand this sort of outreach, catering to the acknowledgement of the administrative team members. And so he's inspired us to how to treat 2022. Now, I'm sure we're all looking forward to that, right? So we really, really thank the registrar for that and for his expression of gratitude to the team. We want to thank again Professor Tennant, who represented the deans. My own dean, Professor Michael Taylor, I want to thank him, Professor Ali, and all the team members. I saw Dr. Adrian Lawrence and all the deans and the heads of departments that are with us, who have echoed their sentiments and wished us happy Administrative Professionals Day. We acknowledge what you have said. It means a great lot, a great deal. A simple thanks, a simple word of encouragement goes a far way. So many thanks on behalf of our coordinators. Our coordinators today, ladies and gentlemen, again, are the administrative officers for each of our faculty. We wanted to do an initiative that will say thanks. The university is going through a challenging time, but notwithstanding, we are the team at the helm in the background who is doing all the work. So we want to thank you for your efforts and encourage you to enjoy the rest of your day. You are seeing on your screen these hardworking ladies: Miss Marjorie Spence from engineering, Miss Hales Johnson from humanities, Mrs. McEwan Lewis from law, Miss Sharon Roberts from medical sciences. I am Rosaline Simmons from the Faculty of Science and Technology. We have Miss Stephanie Pinnock from Social Sciences, Ms. Asina Char from the Faculty of Sport, and Ms. Indira Ajuda from the Western Jamaica campus. We also want to acknowledge the contribution of Ms. Terry-Ann Collins Frey from the Faculty of Science and Technology, and all the team who helped to put today together. Sincere thanks. We also want to acknowledge MITS and the IT team by the Faculty of Social Sciences. Thank you so much for your contributions. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our team, believe me when I say, we understand the challenges that we face in this COVID time. We understand the many restrictions and the way we have had to change our mode of operations. But we are confident of this team that we are resilient, we are able to rise to the challenge, and we are innovators who can deliver above excellence. So I want to thank you on behalf of the team for all that you do to make the UWI the exceptional university that it is. And I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the team to thank you, and to wish you happy Administrative Professionals Day. We will leave you to get onto your departmental and other activities just now, but I do hope and trust you enjoy the session, and you will share the link with other persons so they can log on and benefit from the information you would have gathered today. All right. Please, as we close out, enjoy this last rendition, and do have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for joining us.
And we know that we're not alone, so we have to praise God alone. Come on, I know you want to get up, stand up and rock to this one. Hey, watch it. You're not a God created by human hands. You're not a God dependent on any mortal man. You're not a God in need of anything we can give by your plans. That's just the way it is. Yeah. You're not a God created by human hands. You're not a God dependent on any mortal man. You're not a God in need of anything we can give by your hands. Say it. Come on, lift your voice and sing it now. Say, you are God alone. From before time began, you were on your throne. You are God alone. Right now, in the good time and bad, you are on your throne. Yeah. So you're the only God whose power none can contain. You're the only God whose name and praise will never end. You're the only God who's worthy of anything we can give. You are God, and that's just the way it is. Oh, you are God alone from before time. Yeah, you were on your throne. You are God alone. Right now, good times, bad times. You are on your throne. You are God alone. Come on, sing it with me now. Say, unchangeable, unshakable. That's what you are. You're unchangeable, unshakable. You're unstoppable. That's what you are. All right, now mix it up now. Say God, in the morning. God, in the evening. God, you better believe it. I am a God alone reign. God, boy. Say God, yeah. God sits on the throne. Him see them evil deeds and them way I forgive account. I forgive account, them way I forgive account. 1, 2, 3, mic check home the sound. Me sing for the mic, this was Christ, spread gospel around. Cause I don't want to ring this word and then get. Turn to the way, the truth and the light. Jesus alone. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. Lord, you are higher than any. Yeah. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God, yeah. Our God, yeah. God is greater. Yeah. God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Yeah. God is healer. You're awesome in power. Oh God. So help me declare it now. And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with you, then what can stand? Hands up, hearts open wide. Lift it up now, we lift you high. We lift you up. Hands up, hearts open wide as we cry. Lord, we lift your name high. Let all the other names fade away. Let all the other names fade away. Till there's only you. Let all the other names fade away. Let all the other names fade away. Yes, till all right, everybody wave it up now. Hallelujah. Come on, say you have won the victory. Sounding good, sounding good, yeah. Lord, you won it all for me, yeah. Death could not hold you down. You are the risen King. Yes, you are. Yeah, yeah. You are the risen King. We have to lift him up. We say we have to lift him up. Say we have to lift him up. We say we have to lift him up. We say we have to lift him up. Hey! God bless you. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. That's why I HD love you.